Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. I would like to talk about the person that gave Maddie and Kaylee a ride home the night or the early morning hours of the Idaho 4 murders. There's been a lot of talk about a DoorDash delivery and also the possibility of a DoorDash driver being involved in the murders. But what about the person that took Maddie and Kaylee home? Okay, could this be the same person? I mean, the Jack in the Box is in Pullman. The Uber driver that took the girls home lives in Pullman. Can the DoorDash driver, the Uber driver, and the killer all be the same person? Let's talk about it. All right, time to grab that tea, that coffee, or that Diet Coke as we begin our story.
Understandably, he has said, Alex, that he is very concerned. It's a small community. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he was very revealing in what he told you about that ride home. Start there. What did the girls talk about in the back seat?
Well, he said that it was actually a rather innocent conversation from the beginning. You might remember that he picked up these two girls from that grub truck. It's the food truck that's located right in downtown Moscow. And really, he said that was the center of their conversation. The entire 5-minute ride home was about their mac and cheese carbonara that they were planning on splitting when they got back to the house. He said that he's picked them up in the past, not only these two girls, but Xana as well. And he said that in the past, they've talked about boys and drama and college life, but not this time around. It was just a very normal, innocent conversation about their food and how they were going to share it when they got home.
Now, how likely is that when they were just talking about Adam and what they told Adam, and they just were in a conversation at the corner club with the other Jack, and they had plenty of conversation at the grub truck. So, why would they just all of a sudden start talking about their food and just stop talking about what was so concerning when they were walking down Main Street? It just sounds like a lie. Okay, this is News Nation. All right, the rideshare driver comes forward. This was published on December the 26th, or it was updated on the 26th of December. The rideshare driver who brought Kaylee and Maddie home before they were murdered shared exclusive details Friday with News Nation about the drive home. Share drivers in the city of Moscow. Okay, there's not that many of them. And he said he knew the murdered girls. He had driven them all home in the past. The police apparently did not call him or seek him out after the murders. However, after learning about the murders on the news, he called the police and turned in digital information, including a timed receipt from a Taco Bell to clear his name. He was never named a person of interest, and he's good. Here's another article where he's running his mouth. Okay, he's called the tip line several times from what I've researched, but here's one article here. It says Idaho murders, victim's cab driver claims to have spotted Brian Koberger's car and tipped off police. All right, and this was published on January the 7th, and this is probably a little over a week after the last article. The private cab driver who dropped Idaho victims Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan at their group home near the University of Idaho campus just hours before they were stabbed to death says he actually saw the white Hyundai Elantra police were looking for last month. He told Law and Crime that he was exceptionally glad an arrest had been made. Okay, by now he's given several interviews. And how would he be a private driver providing digital evidence? What digital evidence of being a rideshare driver that night, did he provide a piece of private driver? Okay? When the driver discovered that Koberger lived close by in Pullman, Washington, he was a little shocked. He lived 1,200 feet from my front door. I spent 6 weeks trying to convince my wife there was not a threat and I was wrong. The driver transports passengers about town for a large portion of his days, so following the killings, he kept a lookout for the white Hyundai Elantra. Sometime after December 7th, okay, why does it have to be after December the 7th? Okay, this is the day they announced they were looking for a 2011 to a 2013, December the 7th press release. Oh, that's right. He eventually found it at Kohlberger's apartment building. So now we have not only two police officers from WSU finding his car at his apartments, now we have the Uber driver from Moscow saying he found Kohlberger's car at his apartment after December the 7th. It's getting a little ridiculous. Okay, I thought it was too new, he said of the car, since the 2011 through 2013 Elantra was the subject of a public information request from Moscow police. Yet he still turned it in. Although he noted the Hyundai Elantra's Washington state license plate number, he had also sent a list of 13 or 14 Hyundai Elantras he had seen to the Moscow PD tip line. So by now, Koberger has changed his tag to a Washington state tag. It's no longer the Pennsylvania tag he had in November. The car is a 2015 with a Washington state tag, and he still turned it into the tip line. And then he says, they were all nice girls. They were always polite to me. He knew them very well. So he had a motive. Okay, he could have been a stalker or had fantasies with the girls. He had plenty of time, plenty of relationship with. I think there are too many coincidences here. Number one, he knew all the girls. He knew Maddie, Kaylee, Santa, even Bethany and Dylan, from what he says. Okay? He dropped them off. He dropped Maddie and Kaylee off. He was the last person to see them, supposedly, from Main Street. We don't have any footage of them getting in anybody's car. So all we know is who was at the grub truck. Everybody that was at the grub truck. That's all we can see on camera. Okay? And then he lives 1,200 feet away from him in Pullman. Okay? He lives in Pullman right along with Kohlberger. All right? He's a rideshare driver. A lot of people that drive Uber drive DoorDash too. Okay? It's all in the same family. So he lives in Pullman. He could have easily picked up the DoorDash bag and brought it to Moscow if he was involved. Okay? He could have been the lookout if he wasn't a killer. I mean, the sky's the limit. So, and then he says he told the police about Brian. He spotted his car at Steptoe Apartments. What are the odds that an Uber driver is going to see somebody's car in an apartment complex close to a university and say, oh, this fits the description of the killer in the city over there? Okay? It's not a 2013, it's too new, and he's got a Washington tag, but I think I'll report him anyway. Okay, I think this guy here is a part of the plot. I don't know how, but you can figure it out and tell me, right? You tell me what's going on here. What do you think?